Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? Today is April 22nd. Well, the day of the new moon is April 22nd of 2020. That's 4/22/2020. A lot of twos. But today, the sun and moon are at 3 degrees of Taurus. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, we're going to get into this massively evolutionary energy now. So let's take it to the chart. I'm going to show you guys what the deal is. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We have here this new moon in the midst of all this craziness going on in the world. Still have all these astrological aspects that are bringing us into the future. So as you can see here, we have the nodes at 0 degrees now of Cancer and Capricorn. That is a big deal. 0 degrees is a master number. It's also known as like the void space. You ever done like DMT? You know, you've gone to the void. Everything is one. It's like God consciousness, basically. Okay, this is the space in between spaces. So we are, and in a way, we all sort of feel that way right now with everything that's going on in the world. There is a new day that we have come into, and we are being born into a new time on many, many levels. Okay, and with this, with a lot of these aspects going on, it is telling us, pleading with us, the universe saying, hey, you guys need to wake the fuck up. You guys need to be honest with yourself. What do you love? What do you cherish? What do you want in your life? Once the nodes go into Gemini and Sagittarius, this is the end of the scaffolding of this new and evolved emotional consciousness that we've had. We've been working on this for the last 18 months. Okay, but this is saying, okay, we have let go of old structures. We have faced and felt all our feelings, all the things that we don't want to feel, all the things that we do want to feel. Have you done the work? Have you looked within deep enough? Have you been honest with yourself about what you really want and love? Okay, this last 18 months was our opportunity to get rid of toxic relationships, to look at our emotions, to see what we really want. And if we have the courage and the strength and the willpower to step in to what we really want, or are we going to stick with what's known? Are we going to stick with what's comfortable? But let's face it, right now, nothing's comfortable. And this is happening for a reason, okay? Saturn is quincunx the North Node. This is saying, hey, we're going to make you supremely uncomfortable. And this energy is going to be connected here for at least a good another couple of weeks, okay? Because it is making us, this is a very uncomfortable energy. It's a very pressurizing energy. No matter what's going on, you're sitting at your hut, like the universe is taking away almost all of your ability to distract yourself from yourself. So we must sit with ourselves right now and feel all these things that we just have been avoiding feeling for possibly our entire lives. So it is so very important. Now, of course, when we're feeling these things, it's going to hit us in ways that don't make sense. It's going to make us feel uncomfortable. Myself, I've had a hard time sleeping for the last week. That's okay. It's part of the process. Okay. But, you know, like it may have your diet change. Your sleep patterns may change. A lot of ascension symptoms and physical, changes are going on because we're shifting at the DNA level. We are activating DNA, guys. Now, a big part of, the potentiality of that happening, because we do want that, all right, is what vibration are we sitting in? Are we allowing ourselves to get caught up in this competitive banter between these two sides of the coin that are trying to create this control dynamic? Now, granted, one side is trying to wake people up, the other side is trying to control, okay? But to a certain extent, that's a great thing, but it's very easy right now to get sucked into this rabbit hole and start getting caught up in these subjective opinions of people, and then trying to convince others that aren't ready to be aware of these things. That's not how the awakening process works. The way the awakening process works is by people standing in their own the high vibrational integrity, being themselves and living themselves and creating their own bubble of influencing people in, you know, through whatever means that is, okay? And through the action of you being your authentic high vibration, it will draw people like a magnet. You do not go out and try to convince someone that they are wrong for being who they are, which is essentially what you're doing when you're trying to wake them up. No, you're wrong, dude. You're seeing shit in the wrong way. You're crazy. You're this, you're that. And then it'll just piss them off. That's like when you're in a relationship saying, you know what? We're not getting along, and this is what you're doing to promote what's going wrong in our relationship. They're going to go tell you to go fuck yourself because you're not accepting them for who they are. We have to essentially accept everyone through love. Love is the answer. Love and light is the way, right? And that sounds cliche, but hear me out anyway. Ooh, that rhymed. Yeah, baby. Okay, so we have to just stand in our love and stand in our compassion. Do not engage in competition. Do not engage in arguments. Do not try to convince someone that there's something that they don't believe they are, because they will just resist, and the resistance will start to turn back on you. And then there's a lot of this really just like pressure cooker kind of energy. Take a step back and follow your own guidance and stay in that high vibration. Build what you want to build, create what you want to create. And through that creation, through being that magnet of energy vortex, you will bring the people that are ready to receive what you have to give. And in this new moon, okay, 3 degrees of Taurus, Uranus is at 6 degrees of Taurus. Now, these are 3 degrees conjunct, close enough. They're sextile to the north node and trine to the south node. So this is destiny calling us in. And when Uranus is involved, man, that brings in all kinds of unpredictable shit. Okay. This is the energy of the revolutionary. Okay. This is like this deep passion of, you know, stand up for your rights, stand up for who you are, stand up for what you believe in. This is going to make people want to get up and, I don't want to use the word fight, but this reminds me, this energy right here reminds me of Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King, he just spoke his truth. He spread his word, his knowledge back in the day. And this is like the second wave, if you will, of that movement, because we're still dealing with slavery in the form of human trafficking. We're still dealing with, you know, racism and sexism, just in all new ways. Okay. Like during the Holocaust, and which is interesting because the last time Uranus was in Taurus was, you know, during World War II. How ironic. They used to tattoo the jewels to identify, right? And now, you know, they want to tattoo, you know, implant these little microchips in us for identification purposes. It's just evolved methods, but it's really the same thing. But the good thing here is that many people are waking up. This is the revolutionary, the evolutionary, and with these aspects happening in conjunction with the Pluto-Jupiter conjunction and the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, with all these aspects hanging out in the same area of Capricorn, which is fundamental structure of our lives and of governments and of societies. This is the ultimate shakedown of our world. We've never seen anything like this before. And this will go down in history as the greatest lie, the greatest trick that powers that be attempted to, you know, instill upon us. But it's not going to work. And we have all this Aries and Taurus energy, which is really the true Aries is the true beginning of the cycle. Okay. So we essentially are just a month in to the beginning of this astrological new year. And now coming into Taurus, from Aries to Taurus, Aries is like, we get all this ideas, we get all this revved up, passionate energy, we're ready to go. It's cardinal energy. It's impulsive. It's like, we need to go do this. This is like protests and like, you know, speaking out and voicing your opinion. And this can be a little angry and like, you know, especially with Chiron and Black Moon Lilith there. They're like, you know, well, you're going to try to suppress me. Fuck you. I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to be me, and y'all can go fuck yourselves. But now coming into Taurus, you know, especially with Uranus there, it's like, okay, now we got all these downloads, all this new energy, and all these new feels. Now we have to ground it out. Now we have to make it real. Now we have to structure it. Now we have to create a system based on these new ideas, new platforms that we have. And Uranus is sitting there like just literally throwing all these downloads and upgrades at us. And can you handle it? Yes, no, it doesn't matter. You're going, whether you like it or not. This is like getting ready to jump out of an airplane. In the last minute, you're like, whoop, no, I don't want it. And then boom, they kick you out. Sorry, dude, you're going. And then you're scared for a minute or two, but then all of a sudden you get out and you're like, oh my God, this is exhilarating. This is amazing. I've never felt or seen anything like this before. Okay. So this is bringing us to where we want to go, but it's going to test our resolve, test our courage, and test our willpower. We're saying, like, to people that are screaming loud, like, yeah, let's do this, and let's go protest there, and let's go make this happen, and let's stand up against this. And then Uranus like, all right, time to go. And then it's like all that fear comes up. Oh shit, now we really got to do it. Now we really got to face this opposition. And, you know, it's not just a thought. Now it's an actual action. Now it's like, you know, it becomes real. Might pucker the butthole a little bit, but you know what? That's okay. Let it pucker. It's a strong muscle. And stand in this power. It may be a little confusing and maybe even a little daunting, okay? But this is taking all this energetic, you know, higher frequency, all these downloads, all these ideas, and rooting it in our body. Taurus represents the five senses, okay? And, you know, Uranus is this, you know, shock, is this earthquake going on underneath it, like all of our five senses, saying, you know, okay, like you want to solidify it, but we're solidifying things in a place of consistent change. So there requires a certain level of flexibility here. It's almost like we have to be made of Play-Doh, or like, you know, like some kind of material that is pliable, because if we just pour concrete on it, then we're not going to be able to adapt to change, and we're just going to crack and crumble. Okay, so we're laying this new foundation, especially with the Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturnian energy, and we're doing it in pieces. And this piece today with this new moon is starting the process of grounding out this new vibrational energy. And being that right now with this sextile and trine to the nodes, and the nodes are at 0 degrees, this master number about to go into Gemini and Sagittarius, this is preparing us in this void space for this next level. Because when the North Node goes into Gemini, okay, that's all about, like, the North Node in Cancer was all about establishing these new emotional structures, this new emotional foundation, right? What we want, what we don't want, what we want to feel, what we really desire, what we, you know, are true. That's why in the last month or two, like, so many people have broken up, and so many relationships are all over the fucking place right now. Okay, because the universe is saying, hey, you got to be real with yourself, man, or chick, or whoever. Okay, so we're being really real with ourselves and solidifying this new desire, this new attention to this new detail of what we will, you know, what we will manifest. Like, we're telling ourselves, okay, I want to have this feeling, I want to have this experience, and I will not settle for less. Okay, that's the ascension process. Other people are more like, okay, this is where I'm at. I want to make sure that I'm safe and I'm comfortable, and that's where I'm going to stay. And those people are going to have a more difficult time, because change is going to keep happening faster and faster, and that scaffolding is going to crack. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're ready to create this very flexible sort of scaffolding that's going to adapt to this new energy, which is taking this new emotional scaffolding and taking it out to the streets, taking it out to reality. Gemini is all about communication. You know, it's all about, cerebral intelligence. So now we're taking all this emotional stuff and we're going to put it into a form that's going to get out there and reach communities, reach people. You know, the third house, which Gemini rules, is all about community, right? Having a group of people. So this is building our soul tribes, all right? It's already been happening, but this is going to bring it to a next level. It's really going to build and create and solidify these new sort of tribal processes as well. You know, Uranus is also more about the humanitarian, like, you know, connecting like minds, like soul tribes, you know, together. And we're doing it in a more, of course, evolved and high-tech way. Uranus also represents, you know, technology, the internet. Okay, so a lot more things are going to be going on online, and this is solidifying this new process and identifying new inventive, revolutionary, and, you know, exciting, unpredictable ways. So allow the creativity to flow during this time. It's also interesting that, you know, the new moon's at 3 degrees, Uranus is at 6 degrees. That is and we also have Chiron at 6 degrees as well. So, you know, this 3-6 dynamic, okay, this is all part of the Tesla 369. So that in of itself is very auspicious. Okay, this is telling us like expanding into new structures. All right, that's the feel for what's going on here. So we also have Mars right now that is trine over to Venus, which is beautiful. This is great for relationships. Okay, well, relationships have a lot going on right now as well. Okay, so right now this energy is perpetuating people that are meant to be together to really come together. We have Venus square to Neptune. We have Venus trine over to Mars. And we have Venus sesquiquadrate over to Saturn. So this is like when we meet someone or we interact with someone, we're going to feel the energy big time, okay? With the divine feminine and divine masculine communicating harmoniously with these other difficult energies, it's filtering out all the bullshit, and it's saying, okay, like our soul, like, you know, Neptune is all about surrender, our source consciousness, all about numbing ourselves out if we don't like what we see or feel, okay? Oh, and Venus is also a sextile to Chiron. So this is like going into our deep vulnerability and, you know, sort of saying to the universe, okay, universe, this is what I want. I want my soulmate. I want to build a life with the person that I'm meant to fucking be with. Can you please just show me? All right. And depending on where you're at in your consciousness, it's going to bring people that are going to teach you what you need to know. So you still have a few lessons to learn. Well, you may activate some of these more difficult energies, but there's a very good chance right now that someone that you are meant to be with or that's going to be significant in your life, quite possibly have a past life connection with, because this sesquiquadrate energy is going on with the North Node to Mars and Venus to Saturn, which is, you know, very much destiny is at play here. Twin flames are coming together, baby. Twin flames are coming together, and it's going to reconfigure circumstances in life in order to make that happen. So, of course, this will not happen immediately, but I'm saying that here, and especially with Venus getting ready to go retrograde, there may still be some things that we need to learn. Usually Venus going retrograde is a time where we all are going into the spot that we need to learn in order to get what we want to get. So it's quite possible that after Venus goes direct, it's going to be a better time. But if you meet someone before then, just make sure you take it slow and make sure that you're honest with yourself. And, you know, this is going to be this is also with Venus being in Gemini. It's about building communities, you know, reading books, taking in information, loving receiving, you know, like from other people and from, you know, different sources of information about things that you're really interested in. This is about sharing knowledge, about sharing wealth. All right. It's about learning how to just build these communities, like between the North Node and Venus. These are about building communities, creating tribes, finding your soul tribes, finding the person that you feel like you're meant to be with, and then nurturing all these energies, growing them, and, you know, flourishing in this place within your heart. The key here is, though, you have to be brutally honest with yourself about what you're feeling and have the courage to communicate what you're feeling to yourself and to whoever it is that you're communicating to. You can, if you try to hide stuff, if you're not being true to yourself, if you're not being true to someone else, or if you're omitting information, it's going to blow up in your face, because right now things are manifesting immediately. Okay. So it's critically, sometimes that communication is the hardest part, but the North Node going into Gemini is all about that communication. Okay. So learning how to receive information without being, you know, letting the triggers stop you from growing. Okay. If you want to grow, you have to accept not being right all the time. So there's that. So with all that being said, let's go to the degree 3 degrees of Taurus for the new moon numerology. Okay, it says a sleepwalker. Sounds pretty apropos, right? It said everything begins with an inward cast, and then if you wish to get away anywhere, you must go there on the inside and meet yourself there when you arrive. You feel a desire to memorize the territory of all your inner ways, to remember them, to recognize them, and to be able to follow them when it counts. You feel like you've been taught in the dream state, shown everything in dreamless sleep in 3 dreams. You're subtly and pervasively closely accompanied by a protective guiding spirit, held within the soul's alembic, and trusted to the angels. Living in threshold sensitivity, attuned to the edge, led by the spirit through darkness into light, subliminal, enchanted, anxious, and at peace, always searching for something more, remembering in your soul the lost earth's way and giving over to spirits. You belong to the infinite and wander through the finite worlds. You are like a stranger, knowing something else is at stake here. Something else is going on here. Something else is completely involved. Man, that's deep. So that says to me, there's a certain level, like there's a lot of work going on at the spiritual, unconscious level of our consciousness, and it's coming up into the conscious awareness. And we have to allow ourselves to tap in to our spirit guides. We have to allow ourselves to tap into the energetic references that are trying to teach us, that are teaching us. But the big thing here is all about learning how to receive. In order to receive, we have to be willing to not be right or realize that we don't know, but still be open to the unknown. And a lot of times these energies come through and they don't make any sense. They make us feel crappy or weird or freaked out, or they get us in our head. And this is a lot about acceptance, a lot about just letting things flow, a lot about believing that these things are even fucking possible, okay? But there's a part of ourselves that knows what we have to do. But we have to quiet that other part of ourselves that may be the skeptic, maybe doesn't quite believe. And we have to trust that feeling and allow our spirit guides to guide us through, because we are going to a beautiful, beautiful place, my friends. I promise you. But in order to get there, you have to believe that that's possible. And you have to know and believe that you deserve to be there. This is a lot about self-worth, a lot of issues with confidence and worth and belief systems are at the surface right now, rumbling around. That's why everybody feels so damn uncomfortable, because nobody knows what to trust anymore. All of our belief systems at the core that we've been taught from society, from educational systems, it seems like everything is a fucking lie. There's like 10% truth to everything that's out there. So we have to train ourselves to shift the knowledge from the cerebral left brain, educational mindset, to trusting our heart and allowing our heart to teach and guide us. And that requires faith and belief that anything is possible. Okay? So I implore you to follow your own guidance, listen to things that resonate. Like while you're listening to this, if certain things that I say just sort of speak to you, that like all of a sudden you might be doing something else and you're like, okay, something you just 3 words to stick out, like, oh, wow, that is your intuition talking to you, telling you that this is for you. This is meant for you. Okay, so I hope you resonate with this. Please let me know if you do. Please like, share, and subscribe. And go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. The link is down below. Join my opportunity community. My 4-week coaching protocol is still free, will not be free for long. Okay, so jump on that while you can. Also, join my Facebook opportunity community group. I would love to have you and love to work with you. Let's build this tribe together, and let's grow and learn and be vulnerable and share and create this beautiful life for ourselves that we all want. Win-win situations everywhere, baby. Let's all be abundant. I love you all very much. Happy new moon, and I'll see you guys in the next video.